Good afternoon, student. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss about light. Okay, let's start. In previous lecture, we have discussed about the properties of light. What is the effect of light? Now we will cover more topics in this section, light. So our first topic is shadow. So what is the shadow? Shadow is the darkness. Shadow is the darkness which is caused by the opaque object. What is the opaque object? Opaque object are those objects which stops or blocks the ray of light. For example, we will understand from an example. Shadow. So if this one it is a candle and this one is screen. Candle. It is a light source and here we will get the image or shadow or anything. Okay. So when light ray falls upon this screen, it will give an image. Okay, when ray of light falls upon this screen, we will get an image of this candle. And what will happen when we place an opaque object between this screen and candle? Between this screen and candle, we have placed an opaque object. Opaque object. So what will happen? It will block this ray of light. It will block ray of light. It will block this ray of light. So now we will see that a ray of light only comes through this opaque object and it will not cross to the screen. So we will get nothing as an image. We will get nothing as an image. Okay. Now, so what will we found? We will found a dark region. We have found a dark region because of this opaque object. This opaque object blocks the ray of light which was going to the screen, but it blocked here by the opaque object. So we will get a darkest region. We will find a darkness on this screen. That darkness is known as shadow. And shadow of what? Shadow of opaque object. Shadow of opaque object. Why? Because of this opaque object just block the ray of light emits from this source, which is a candle. So that's why. So this is the shadow of opaque object. So now you are clear that how can we obtain the shadow. Shadow of what? Whatever opaque object is here in the place between the light source and the screen, light source and the object at which we found that shadow. That will the same opaque object, that is the shadow of same opaque object on the screen. Okay, so that is known as shadow. Now, here is the two example of teddy bear and football forming shadow on screen. So you can see that shadow has two parts. Shadow has how many parts? Two parts. So now we will see both the parts. See, this one is the screen. Shadow has two parts. One is the middle one, middle darkest region, and this one, which, see, darkest region is in middle, and around this darkest region there is partial dark region. Partial dark region. So this middle darkest region is known as umbra, and this partial dark region is known as penumbra. Okay, so this middle darkest region is umbra, and that partial dark region which is around this umbra region, that is known as penumbra. Okay, so now we will see what will be the effect of that light source when it is closer to opaque object or it is far away from the opaque object. In this picture you can see umbra and penumbra region in both of them. Okay, now we have a light source. We have an opaque object. And we have a screen. Okay, so here is some distance. We can say d1. d1 is the distance between that light source and object, opaque object. Light source and opaque object. Okay, and same d2. d2 is the distance between this opaque object and screen. Okay, d2 is the distance between this opaque object and screen. This one is screen, this one is object, and this one is candle. Okay, candle is the light source, opaque object which block this ray of light, and screen where we will get shadow. Okay, now if this source of light will get closer to the object, this opaque object, then we will get a larger shadow. Okay, when this ray of light get closer, or this object will get closer to this light, this source of light, then we will get a bigger shadow on the screen. Okay, you can practically see this in your home also. When you just take a torch in your hand, and here and some object, see, as like here is your torch. Okay, when light ray from the torch falls upon this object, you will get the shadow on the screen. So when distance of your torch is here, when your torch is getting closer to this object, this screen, this shadow will get increased. I will show you through a picture of this practical. Okay, so as this object is getting closer to this source of light, we will get a bigger shadow, and as it will get far away from this source of light, we will get a smaller shadow. Okay, so as we can say, distance between source of light and object, distance between source of light and object will increase comma will also increase the size of shadow, the size of shadow. Okay, once again, distance between source of light and object will increase, comma will also increase the size of shadow. Okay, increase in the distance between object and source of light, it will also increase the shadow of the same object. Okay, now we will see through two ray diagram. Okay, ray diagram picture, you will be very clear about this whole phenomena. Now in this figure you can see what is the effect of distance of light source to the screen, and in this figure you can see that what is the size of the light source and object, and this one what is the size of light source and object. You can see the effect very clearly. Now what will happen when this whole phenomena, shadow and all, what will happen when this whole shadow phenomena will occur naturally? How? See, we have sun, we have moon, we have earth. Okay, we have sun, we have moon, we have earth. As we know that sun is a luminous object, moon and earth is a non-luminous object. This one is luminous and these two non-luminous. Okay, so when we see the shadow of heavenly bodies, these are the heavenly bodies, sun, moon and earth. When we see the shadow of heavenly bodies, they are known as eclipse. What we call them? Eclipse. Okay, what we call them? Eclipse. So when we see the shadow of heavenly bodies, sun, moon and earth, when we see the shadow of moon and earth, why? Because of it is a light source, it will never produce its own shadow. That's why. So we will see the shadow of moon or we will see the shadow of earth. Okay, so this is known as eclipse. So according to this theory, according to this base, we have two eclipses. One is solar eclipse and one is lunar eclipse. See what will happen when there is a solar eclipse or lunar eclipse. See, sun, earth and moon. One most important thing is that solar eclipse and lunar eclipse both are observed from the earth. We are the observer. We are the observer. So here is the position of earth and here is the position of earth. Okay. And moon and earth and moon both are the non-luminous bodies. Okay. Sun is the luminous bodies. So when this source of light and this one is the source of light, when when ray of light falls on the moon, falls on this moon, then from the earth we are not able to see this sun. From the earth we are not able to see this sun. Why? Because of this moon. So moon is acting like a object and earth is acting like a screen. Okay, so from the sun we are seeing that moon is acting like a opaque object, which from the earth we are not observing the sun because of this opaque object. So this phenomena is known as solar eclipse. Solar eclipse. Solar means sun and eclipse means shadow. So in this case we will get the sun shadow on earth. Sun shadow on earth. That's why this phenomena is known as solar eclipse, in which between sun and earth there is a moon. Sun and earth there is a moon. Now we will understand lunar eclipse. So earth is here, and moon is here. So because of earth is placed between sun and moon, there is earth. So from earth we are not able to see this moon because of there is no light falls on this moon because of this opaque object. Okay, so it is known as lunar eclipse. Okay, it is known as lunar eclipse. And one most important thing, solar eclipse happens on new moon day, and this one lunar eclipse, it will occur at new moon day, and it will occur full moon day. Full moon day. Okay, so this is the solar eclipse and this is here is the figure of solar eclipse and lunar eclipse with explanation. The lunar eclipse. If you have any problem, then go in comment section and write there your problem. Okay, I will attend as soon as possible. Thanks for